When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Now, you've said in the past that you would do a comic book movie if the right role came up. Why was this the right role for you?
I think it was complex in a way that the other movies that I kind of flirted with weren't. And so I thought that it was going to be challenging for me as an actor. I thought it was going to be challenging for the audience. And that's exciting to me. You know, I think I always look for characters that aren't easy to define, and they're surprising in many ways. And so that's what this was. I mean, I kind of, you hear Joker, and I think anybody has their kind of idea of what they think the film will be. But I think Todd and Scott Silver's script really went ways that I couldn't have expected. There's something just super interesting about it. Really.
I felt that way watching it yesterday because I was like, I almost forgot we were in Gotham some of the times, and there was like a couple of things hidden in there that I was like, oh yeah, this is in the DC universe, but it kind of escapes your mind because you're really just focused on this character.
I think they really blended kind of their own unique version of this world while still maintaining some of the kind of Gotham, Batman, Joker mythos. And I thought that was just really unique. I'd never read anything like it. So I'm glad you thought that way watching the movie.
Definitely. I want to talk about the Joker's laugh because that's probably his most iconic trait, especially in the comics, and there's so many different versions of Joker. Was that something that you had to audition with? Was that one of the first things you tackled, and how did you come up with that laugh?
Wait a minute, how do you know this?
How do I know what?
What do you mean, how did I have to audition for it? That's a real story. How do you know about that?
I mean, I do my research, and I figured you might have auditioned with it, but...
That's very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny because I had the part, but I felt like I needed to audition the laugh because I didn't know if I had it or not. So I asked Todd to come over to my house and to, audition the laugh. And he said that wasn't necessary. And I said it was. It was really important that I was able to do it in front of him whenever I needed to. So I don't know how you know about that story. I've never told it before.
I don't know.
That's
I must have read it somewhere.
Maybe.
But he's like, you got the part, and you're like, no, I insist.
Yeah, I think it was really it was important that I was able to do it, and it was a struggle, and I thought at some point it would become easier, but I don't think it did. I think it became more difficult actually.
To do while you were filming, you mean?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There were some scenes where I guess for whatever reason it came out and it felt right, and other scenes that it was a struggle, and sometimes one take would work and another wouldn't. It just was, I think, something that was alive in a way, and yeah, I don't know what affected that.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk, it's kind of a cliche question when people are like the physical transformation, but it was so, apparent watching this movie. Was that something that was your decision to, lose a ton of weight, or was that you and Todd collaboration?
The first thing that I started was the effects and the side effects of medication. And one thing that everybody was talking about on these boards was about how their medication had affected their weight. Mm-hmm. And some people talked about losing a lot of weight, some people talked about gaining weight. And I said, let's go with the weight gain, because that will be easier for me as an actor. And Todd said, no, I think we want to go with the weight loss. And so it was something that I've done before, and I swore when I did it before that I'd never do it again. But it seemed like it was really important for the character, and I think it ended up affecting me in ways that I hadn't anticipated, and certainly it affects your emotional and mental state. But really, I think the thing that I didn't expect at all was how I felt like I could move my body once I'd lost all that weight. I felt like this a unique control over my body and how I moved. For whatever reason, I don't know why, it doesn't really make sense, right? But somehow it kind of gave me a new, unexpected feeling, and that became really important to the character.
Well, that kind of goes into my next thing, is the dancing. That was like a big part of the character. I think Todd said it was important that Joker had music in him. Can you talk about coming up with that specific dance? Because it was very choreographed.
What specific dance?
Well, he kind of had the same movements he did quite a few times. There was like I don't know what to call it, the thrust and the... This is so embarrassing to talk about. This feels so foolish. That particular movement that you just described was actually from a scene in a previous draft that then was removed, and described that movement, and I thought that was really funny. So I think that just kind of carried over. Joker has this certain kind of arrogance and this need to be kind of revered and adored, and he sees himself as a king in some ways. And I worked with this choreographer named Michael Arnold. He's really brilliant. And while we did work on some specific steps for like that scene on the stairs, we also just started watching a lot of videos of dance, and there's one in particular, Ray Bolger, who did a dance in the song called "The Old Soft Shoe," and he has this kind of arrogant air to him in this dance, and I saw that, and I like immediately knew that was Joker, and I think that had kind of the most profound influence. But a lot of it wasn't choreographed, and we just found it in the moment. Mm-hmm. I loved watching. It was like once he kind of goes into full Joker, has that makeup on, there's like a different confidence in the dance. I thought it was cool to watch. Now Todd had said that this was not intended to have sequels. There's no intention of having one at the moment, but it feels like there is room for you to play that character again. Do you feel like you're one and done, or do you feel like you would want to play Joker again? I like this answer, actually. It's cryptic. He's smiling. We don't know. Well, I gotta let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to talk to you.